stories, and I was also having lunch with my buddy Edgar earlier in Lockhart, and we were talking about stuff that got me thinking about a lot of things. But when I was growing up, the first time I ever sang in front of anybody was at my grandparents' church. My grandmother was, if she were of our generation, she would be rightfully called a music minister. But because she was born in 1917 as a woman in Alabama, she wasn't allowed to be a music minister. So she was just called a choir director. But she was a music minister for 70 years. She started when she was 19 and she retired when she was 89. And there was one year, a few years, probably 10 years ago, that I was off work for Martin Luther King Day. And I was in Birmingham, where I'm from, and I went to eat lunch with my grandmama. And I was asking her about something that I never heard white people of her generation talk about, which was the civil rights movement, you know. And I asked her, like, Mimi, what do you remember about the 60s and about being here during the civil rights movement when Dr. King was here and all that? And she'd started to get kind of pretty advanced in age and started to forget a lot of things. But she said the one thing that she remembered was that she'd be directing the choir every Sunday. And she was like, I'd be sitting there up in the choir loft and I'd be looking out in the congregation, and there's this one man who would sit up in the front of the balcony looking like he owned the church. And she would think to herself, you have some kind of nerve sitting here like that after what you've been doing all week downtown. And I was like, what are you talking about? What was he doing? And she's like, well, I can't remember, but he was somewhere high up in the city government, is what she said. And so later I asked another family member, you know, who she was talking about. And this is the church that I first sang in, first time I ever sang in front of anybody. And I come to find out that man who would sit in that pew was Bull Connor. And he was the man who was the self-proclaimed public safety commissioner, which is a very dystopian name for what he was, in Birmingham. And he was the man who made the decision to turn police dogs and fire hoses on innocent women and children who were marching for their rights in the streets of Birmingham. And I thought about how my grandparents were, at the time I was growing up, they were the only white people in their neighborhood. It was a black neighborhood. And I never saw them treat anybody with anything other than decency and respect and neighborliness. And I thought about how good people like my grandmama, like my granddaddy, like some of the people sitting in that church, that we can be sitting alongside somebody or maybe working with somebody or whatever who's committed to doing great harm, who's committed to doing great evil in the world. And what do we do about that? How do we navigate that? And right now when I look around and I see what so many of our neighbors voted for, and getting ICE out in the streets to round up people whose only crime is trying to make a living in this country, that's a question that I'm asking myself. And how can I remember that Bull Connor wasn't some monster? He wasn't created out of the depths of Mordor. He was just a human being who made a lot of messed up choices for his own benefit. And I know I can make messed up choices for my own benefit. And so this song is about trying to reflect on that and trying to build a world where we consider our neighbors and try to prioritize loving our neighbors and what's right and what's true, and loving ourselves in the deepest and most fundamental way, and refusing to go along with whatever people in power tell us we're supposed to do, because that's just the way it is. blue. Run me home, would you park where America's the kids and we shall overcome. And look around by cops under the Georgia Pacific sign, all down and too young. And I said, don't ever bite the fingers that feed yourself, pilot, as you watch the invisible head. Be good, take care, and Godspeed ya, lest you forget it. Don't ever trust that company man. Ooh, child, hear the poets and professors postulate how we all got so robbed. All it takes is one wicked heart, a pile of money, and a chain of folks just doing their job. And I said, don't ever bite the fingers that feed yourself, pilot, as you watch the invisible head. Be good, take care, and Godspeed ya, lest you forget it. Don't ever trust that company man. Don't trust it. Say I didn't warn you. On the mount we heard him say, gotta serve either me or him. We just turned and walked away. Hey, don't ever bite the fingers that feed yourself, pilot, as you watch the invisible head. Be good, take care, and Godspeed ya, lest you forget it. Don't ever trust that company man. Ooh, child, don't ever trust that company man. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Don't ever trust that company man. Don't ever trust the company man. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, man. Also, if there's a song that I wrote that anybody would like to hear, please holler it out and I'll try and do it. Otherwise, I got plenty of ideas, but I am gonna do this one. I did an album a couple years ago that I met Jacob at the end of, and or when I was touring on, and James. I'm sorry, I just said Jacob. I was thinking about somebody else. But a lot of the songs on this record are thinking about where I'm from and about the histories of Alabama and Georgia, where I live now, and the histories that were not taught in school. Like when I was growing up, we had to take Alabama history in the 4th grade. I don't know if there's a Texas history. Is there that y'all have to take? What grade is that? 4th. Oh, it's 4th. It is okay. Okay, 4th and 7th. Now, of course, Texas is going to double down on it, you know. And I imagine there's a lot of Texas history that y'all weren't taught as 10 and 13-year-olds, as we weren't in Alabama. And a lot of those histories, of course, are the dark histories that we're not taught about, things that people in power want to cover up. But there's also a lot of like really powerful, inspiring histories that we're not taught about in Alabama history class. And a lot of those have to do with regular people getting together and standing together and fighting back against these power structures in Alabama. And those had to do with enslaved people fighting back. That had to do with people fighting back for their right to vote in the 1960s. That had to do with workers who were black and white and immigrants, recent immigrants to this country, standing together for their rights in coal mines and textile mills throughout Alabama. And so this song is about looking back at our ancestors and the people who refused to play dead and refused to take the crap that was being shoveled onto them by people in power in the state house or at the heads of companies, And this is trying to draw inspiration from them and how we can do that today, how to stand together and quit playing dead and make these people who are trying to run our lives give us the freedom that we're all owed as human beings. That's what it's about.
Children burn black, brown, and the sun split it with tide. Was the Danny Bains what it really makes you rise again? Because they're done playing dead. They're done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Sweet water blast stirring with the ghosts of 10 cities. Smell the papa greens on the levee as you breeze into nighttime. Whispers of the freedom schools all through blood and lounge. And you got a lot of a pine box church grandchildren of the enslaved. Told 12 gauges make their mark for the black belt at the sanctified sunken edge of that black belt town. Cause they're done playing dead. Done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Said that we're cursed, but that we're blessed. When we're backed in a corner, it's when we find our best. Slash cut, run grounds around old Soga. The damned up falls in Tallahassee, the factory gates where the pumpkin stomp shook the earth out from under Tuckabatchie Square. The old time folks turned refugees by Jackson, taking root deep down into the cypress swamps. 200 years through wars of richest empire on earth can't push them out of there. Cause they're done playing dead. Done playing dead. They're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Yeah, they're done, yeah, they're done playing. Yeah, they're done playing dead. Hell yeah, thanks, y'all. Hell yeah. Woo! All right. Man, thank y'all again so much for having me, Lindsay and Garrett. Again, this song is also kind of about what we were talking about. Last time I was down here, James was telling me after the show at the Lonesome Rose, which, I mean, this is how I know I'm amongst my people, is after the show, James was like, man, I want to talk to you about this newspaper that was out in Texas in the early 1900s. It was called the Hallettsville Rebel. And it was a newspaper that was put out by populists in South Texas, right, in Central Texas, who were just farmers who were saying, hey man, we're getting screwed over here by the big dogs, you know, and this is about banding together and sticking up for working people and all that. And this song is
again, looking at that and how when I was growing up in Alabama, a lot of times in the 80s, 90s, the era of Reagan, I was told that union was a dirty word and the unions were something we don't do in the South. That's a northern thing, you know. And again, when I dig into our history and when I actually look around at how our state works, I see that Alabama has always been a hotbed of labor organization. And that the reason that Birmingham was as segregated it was in the mid-century is that in the early 1900s, black and white workers were standing together in the coal mines and the steel mills and the textile mills. In 1870, just a few years after emancipation, there was an interracial coal miners union and strike in Birmingham, Alabama. In the late 1800s, black and white workers were standing together. And it was because of that that these people in power said, nah, we can't have this. We got to treat these white guys a little bit better than these black guys and tell them it's the black guy's fault that they got laid off. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is still what the power structure is doing. But when we look back at our history, we see that when we win stuff like a 40-hour week or unemployment or disability or labor protections that keep us from sending children into coal mines, the reason we get these things is that the people stand together. People who work for a living stand together across racial lines and gender lines and national origin lines, and we stand up for ourselves. And that's for everybody doing that right now in Amazon warehouses and car plants and farm workers and folks working in kitchens. This is for workers standing up for workers, because when workers win, the people win. Democracy wins. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Deadbolt pushing pallets through the dusty aisles of a cinder-block tomb, till your back is stove up, your coughs are back and your thoughts are fade. You call the Magic City outlaws, drop fours in the small Joe Valley, who's strapped with the big news and the gun thugs and the scabs, their honor and their share of pay. Old children in the concrete and pines, working with our hands and on our feet. Old children holding that holy old line in remembrance of the 40-hour week. Hey, hey. When they see red symbols through the pale rose of a flickering screen, till your wrists are trashed, your eyes are static, and your mind is stone. You call the Etowah outlaws, boy, but to spun their fingers wrong now, who walked out of red brick caves along the falling waters and into the light of a brand new day. Old children in the concrete and pines, working with our hands and on our feet. Old children holding that holy old line in remembrance of the 40-hour week, in remembrance of the 40-hour week. Seems like lately we get up to go to work, we get ready for work, we head to work, and we work till we get off work. Then we take it to the house from work, we hit the kitchen and we get to work. We talk about work, we worry about work, we dream about it. When your dog's sick, snatch your plates from the greasy jaws of this greedy post life. The quicker you rush them out, the quicker it gobbles them up. You gather what it feels. You call Tallapoosa outlaws, boy, burnt there next to the black belt soil. Raise hammer and hold to the landlords, hollering God's people shall eat of our own fields. Shouting of our own fields, old children in the concrete and pines, working with our hands and on our feet. Old children workers, baby. Power to the workers. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna do. I don't know. I think I'm gonna break it down. I was thinking is James was playing and talking to Garrett and Edgar and my buddies Rich and Alex, that I'm very grateful to know a lot of like what I would call sweet dudes. Guys that are very sweet and kind people that I've gotten to know through playing music. And thinking about my granddaddies, they used to talk about being a gentleman. And I think in a certain way, when I think about sweet dudes, it's sort of a gentleman is what I'm thinking of. This is a song that at times in the last few years, there's conversations I wish I could have with my granddaddies who both passed away. And wondering what they would make out to be a gentleman in, 2025. And that's Granddaddy said a gentleman of this land has an abiding sense of place. Bells on Cabbage Town, shotguns for executives, Southtown projects for retail space, foreclosed family farms from McDonough to Calera, for stucco mansion mazes called heritage trace. Granddaddy, are these really gentlemen? Don't seem to give a damn about this place. No, these wine washing boys don't give a good damn about this place. Granddaddy said a gentleman of this land has deference to women, but trades through the highlands, grabbing ladies' bodies, cause the spirit went down. In Montgomery, in Atlanta, try to outlaw everybody that fights back, transcends or transitions. Granddaddy, are these really gentlemen? Don't seem to give a damn about women. Now these hooked up little boys are just about scared to death of women. Granddaddy said a gentleman of this land has an abiding sense of place. Granddaddy said a gentleman of this land is down home, old time folks, but the tribe. Brand people with the station of their birth and put them to the bull with collar yoke. Bathe Juliet's babies in coal ash and feed Terrence City's children on slag and smoke. Granddaddy, are these really gentlemen who have it out for down home, old time folk? Now these no count boys try to live off the sweat of down home, old time folk. Rivers all sing, a rolling hallelujah. Carry us down to the soft sands of God's balmy shore. I don't care to see cash or deed, titles or degrees, but the only trophy hope you'll have to show. Able hands hurt on my gentle soul.
grandparents sang a song in their church growing up called "There's a Balm in Gilead." And when I was a kid, I thought they were saying there's a bomb, B-O-M-B, in Gilead. And I guess it was about 15 years ago now, I was reading the news and the IDF was bombing people in Gaza. And I was thinking about how there were bombs in Gilead at that time. And there's even more bombs in Gilead today. And this song is a reflection on how systems of faith like my grandparents, Protestantism, or Catholicism, or Islam, or Judaism, these faiths that are built on love of neighbor and love of God and truth and righteousness and mercy and peace can be twisted and distorted by people in power to do great harm against our neighbor. And so this song is a calling back to the deep truths in all those faiths and all those traditions, and that are in every single one of our souls, which is that every human being is beloved by God and beloved by the earth, and that we owe it to ourselves and all of that to respect that. And so I do this song in solidarity with the Palestinian people and a call for ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire now.
Children of Abraham, don't say ain't been warned. There will come a burning day. Straight off checkpoints to your enemy's house. Narrow is the way. And broad are the wings of the silver birds overhead. Wide open are their bellies gay. Many there be among your children who lie begging in their way. Hey, there is a bomb in Gilead. Well, it's city phone on a peak, and it's fixing to get blown to pieces. Hey, yeah, there is a bomb. Children of Paul, get your knot. To whom you really belong. For a sword long hath been wrought that cleaves the weak from the strong, from the strong. Hey, 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 there is a bomb in Gilead. Well, it's city foam on a piece, and it's fixing to get blown to pieces. Hey, yeah, there is a bomb. Woo! Boy from his father, mama from her daughter. We ain't loving. Brother, we ain't living. Hey, hey, there is a bomb
Yeah.
All right. Man, I'll just do a couple more here. Thank y'all so much for having me. And man, this, I don't know, it's like something that somebody mentioned earlier today, that the funding for NPR and different things that serve the public good has been cut by these fascists and crooks. And as like demoralizing as that is, I also look around and I see how, you know, our ancestors had the good sense to realize that when we pull together, we can do stuff for the common good. And it seems like our generations that are living today are going to have to learn that again, a lot of us. But when I look at communities like is right here, and like I've gotten to know through coming to Texas, through meeting Garrett in San Antonio, or meeting them here in Austin, or meeting Jerry and Beth, or whoever it is, what I see is that we, the people, make these communities. That's part of our spirit. That's part of just our natural human way of being. That no matter what the government does, no matter what the oligarchs do, we are going to make a public good always. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We, the people, are always going to band together and consider others and consider community and supporting each other and trying to do the right thing. And this song is about reflecting on that, and how outside Birmingham, back before I was born, you know, there's a community that was rough, you know, having a lot of difficulties. A lot of the steel industry was drying up and things were hard. And what you had was a bunch of dudes getting together and working on cars and driving them as fast as they could in circles on the weekends. And that type of racing, that drag strip, dirt track racing, is what I see as an inspiration for what happens when community members get together amongst ourselves. And I don't need $1 million from Home Depot to get together with my buddies and build a car out of junk and drive fast as the angels fly. You know what I mean? And that's how I relate to this story, is through seeing that through independent art and music. And I'm grateful to Garrett for demonstrating that. I'm grateful to James for demonstrating that, and them and so many of y'all. And thanks, man. Love y'all. Since you sang it for the sake of the song, some things weren't selling, yeah, you can't buy back. I'ma keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. I've been hearing things at night in this big old house. Ain't just the pistols and the frogs and chains. It's a rumbling sound rising like red clay clouds from the ghosts of the Alabama game. Bubba, it's been too long since you sang it for the sake of the song. Some things weren't selling, yeah, you can't buy back. I'ma keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Hey now, hey, oh. Running that oval will teach you that where you start is where you wind up at. But while the cameras were rolling and the clouds were growing, we were entering the old dirt track down, down, down. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Keep on working, keep it on the dirt track. Hey, keep on working, ooh, keep on working. Keep your Thanks, y'all. God bless Texas. Power to the people. Love y'all. Garrett T. Cap's up next. Thank you, Lindsay.